agenda comments. Anyone who would like to speak, that is any agenda related comments that you have at this time, you're welcome to come and share. We do have, we have adopted some rules I want to share. We're limited to 3 minutes. And we want you to state your name for the record and, you know, limit your comments to agenda specific items. And all your comments need to be directed to the board. Anyone wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll close. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go.
How's the board tonight? My name's Greg Walker.
Good.
How you doing, Bob?
How you?
Nice to see you, Tom. I'm here tonight on the fire tax. County does not need a fire tax. I support the fire department, rescue squad in every way. But we gotta have a different way than fire tax. You can't have a fire chief with his dad, brother-in-law, and son-in-law on the board of directors. Somebody needs to look at the books before we do a fire tax. Put it to the vote for the people. Y'all do an investigation and see who's on the board of these fire departments. And I think you're in Delay Creek District, ain't you, Mr. Evans?
Yeah, I'm gonna straddle the fence.
I am too. But somebody needs to look at it and see before y'all make a fire tax. Somebody needs to check their records. Fire chief don't need to carry a checkbook to the fire department. And you know where I'm coming from, Bob. That's all I got to say, but put the vote to the people if you're gonna do a fire tax. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Jim. My name is David Higgins. I'm the chief of Alleghany Creek Fire Department. Have been for 18 years now. And I'm up here, and I'm speaking for myself, and I think all the fire departments more or less, we're all sort of in a bind, needing money through time. Our budget runs around $100,000. We get $46,730 from the county. So that leaves $54,000 for us to make up. And we do our share. We do average 10 fundraisers a year. We do a letter drive, bingos, gospel singings, 2 lawnmower races, 2 mudslings, and the $3,000 giveaway. And so, I mean, we do our share to make money, but while we're making money, we're leaving our training out. Our training hours right now for a firefighter, a new firefighter become firefighter 1 and 2 certified, 400 hours. 400 hours of their time volunteering for training. A new firefighter, before he can go in a burning building, has to have 125 hours of certified training. Before he can drive a truck, this is with VFIS, our insurance, they recommend you be 21 years old and 50 hours of truck driver experience. So these boys are trying to raise money and also trying to do their training. Right now, state requires us to have 36 hours training per year to be a firefighter, to be active. That's moving up. In the next 5 years, you're gonna see it going up to 50, and then you're gonna see it going up. But we do the same thing Charlotte does, Winston does, everybody else. Sunday, on a grass fire in Lake Creek, we had it wasn't nothing really large, but it could have been very large if not got on it in time. Lake Creek had 12 members on scene, and they had 6 trucks. Sparta had 2 trucks and 6 members. Forestry Service had 2 trucks and 2 members. Even commandeered a couple of the game wardens in the county till we had more members on scene. So what you're seeing is, how much would this have cost with 18 people? I'm taking off Forestry Service if you had to pay them to go out and do that. You're getting a lot of resources very cheap. All we're asking is for equipment. And it's nothing spectacular. See, when we buy a truck, and a lot of people say, "Why don't you buy more used trucks?" Okay, we can't buy city trucks. City trucks haul 250, 500 gallon water because they have fire hydrants. Lake Creek does not have a fire hydrant in the district. 500 gallon truck is useless because of ISO points. in order for ISO points, that keeps your insurance rate down on your homes. So we have to haul out at least 1,000 on the first truck out. Our first truck out is 1,000 gallon, 1991 truck, 26 years old. So how many here today driving 26-year-old vehicles? Not many. So, I mean, and we've got good equipment, it's updated, it's good, but we need more help. It's just something that we can't comprehend. So, thank y'all for your time. I know I'm running over time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're in Dale Sheets, Laurel Springs Volunteer Fire Department Assistant Chief. Thought about this a lot since through the weekend. The fire department, when we originally started in these rural areas, it was established, somebody had an old silage truck, somebody had a milk tank, they put it together, they fought fire. Now the state has been involved with our regulations now. Now we're regulating. This comes into the 36 hours that David was talking about, all the training. You're looking at around $85 a man to suit up with turnout gear, radio, air pack. That's expensive.
You said $85, that's
$8,500.
$8,500.
With everything that we're faced with now, expenses have went up. And we've tried as the fire department with board of directors, and we have outside members on our board as well as most fire departments do. That way you get an equal pull from the public, you know. What do we do and how do we do it with our money? It's been a constant battle for us just to keep turnout gear updated and air packs as well. As David mentioned, every time there's a fire call and a truck goes out, there's 10 gallons of fuel. Y'all figure it any way you want to. If you run 3 trucks, there's 30 gallons of fuel that you spend. So we can make a budget. Most of us have been in business and we know how to keep up with our budget. But now it's just like us right now. We went through an audit 2 years ago, and the state inspector come in and said, you know, he said, we've been lenient. We had 3 trucks, it's not been sitting in a heated facility. We winterize them and go through the process. He said, you've got to build a new building. So this year we're dropping $250,000 just to house these 3 apparatuses in a heated facility. Something that David hit on. We've got one truck that's 31 years old, one truck that's 29 years old, 13, 16, 11, and our newest truck is 9 years old. We've done some major upgrades this year. We've spent $10,000 on repairs just to keep the trucks up to specs. The past 5 years, we've worked hard with grants. We've utilized grant money for the last 10 years to help update our equipment. Flip back for a minute, you're talking about fundraisers. And we've done chicken barbecues for years. It costs you now $6 in expenses for a chicken, you sell for $8. How many chicken halves you gotta sell to buy a $500,000 fire truck? You know, it's just, you beat your vendors up. You can go to CarQuest, B&T Tire, all of our vendors in town, and they've been great to support the fire departments. But they can't stand it so much either. I mean, you take all the departments and they're doing fundraisers for someone that's got hurt in the community or for the fundraiser for the fire departments. You can't just depend on these vendors to help. So through that, we're building the new building that I spoke of. We added a 30,000 gallon water tank to source our trucks so we're not having to pull water out of the streams and stuff. Like David said with the hydrants, water source is our biggest problem in these rural areas. 5 years ago, we run 3 calls a week. Last year, Christmas program, I got up and stood. Last 2 years, Laurel Springs is averaging a call a day. 1 call a day we're averaging now. So the growth is here, and we've got to keep up with the means. And this is the first time in 11 years that we've asked for an increase. And we just filled the paperwork out the other night. We've got to have an increase. We've got to help pay for the building and start focusing on a new truck. And that's it. But I do appreciate your time, and y'all are more than welcome to come to the park and look at the equipment. It's all in good working condition, but it's like I say, it's aging, and we've got to stay up with the times. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Harry Jones. I've lived here 14 years. I'm in the Sparta area. I'd like people to think about, I had a brother-in-law 10 years ago said, to start a fire truck, to move it out of the house was $185. I'm sure that cost has gone up now. And that's to do nothing, just to turn it on. Wear and tear, getting it out. I'd like people, the tax people, to think, the citizens to think how much it would cost with the house insurance if the response time goes down in the fire department. We already got a labor problem. Young people today do not come up and volunteer. So they're fighting a losing battle. They're paying 20% at the fairgrounds. I've complained about that to no end. So every time they try to raise any money at the fairgrounds, they're losing 20% off the top. So I think people need to think about what it would cost you. $200–300 more on your house insurance if you didn't have your firefighters. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mayor?
I apologize, I was a few minutes late, closing my business and stuff, but, I caught part of David's speech in Dale's, and, I'm Larry Adams from Piney Creek. I know most of you have seen you before and so on and so forth. Been fire department a number of years, and, somebody might be getting a call right now, but,
Take your call, gentlemen.
excuse me, I apologize, I've got a terrible cold and I'll try not to cough in the microphone, but I think we're here just to share our needs as a county departments and stuff, but I'll speak on Piney Creek just for a minute, and I think most of us is in the same shape with trucks and stuff, and I'll speak about our trucks. And, most of you know, the worst or most immediate need at Piney Creek is a fire station. There's never been a true fire station in Piney Creek. I think they started in the old agriculture building, which was torn down in the late 70s to build the new Piney Creek School. The fire department was put across the road in the lunchroom, cafeteria, and it was given a small 2-bay metal building to use as a fire station. And we are still using that today. We're still using the lunchroom, cafeteria as a meeting hall or meeting room or whatever. We're down to one bathroom. Our women's bathroom has give up. Don't really know how old that building is. It's really aging. Part of the building has single pane windows that don't close, and we can go on and on and on. I won't get into all the specs tonight, but you know, the fire department's been there for almost 40 years, and probably that building was put up to get by for X amount of years. Of course, I wasn't around at that time in the 70s when all that was done, and probably nobody in this room or board was around and know the stipulations of that deal or whatever with the county. But we had an aha moment at Piney Creek in the first Tuesday night in January. We've been talking about this. My first recollection of a fire station was 1995. We started talking about it, and I know some other guys here from Piney Creek can probably were there. And we've talked about it through the years, and never been enough money available to do that. Building's not getting any cheaper. It's just not.
material, labor probably more than material is escalated. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We realized that we cannot build a entire fire station. And when I mean entire fire station, I'm talking truck bays, the meeting room, community room, offices, kitchen, up-to-date bathrooms, ADA approved, handicap approved bathrooms, and so on and so forth. So we come up sort of with a solution at this point in time. It could change, but at this point in time, just to put up the truck bays, to be similar to what Cherry Lane done beside their building. We are looking at 5 truck bays, where we can park 2 trucks deep. I think they were just parking 1 truck deep or so on and so forth. We have some very early preliminary prices, and this is subject to change. We had just a brief conversation with a fire station builder from on down in North Carolina. Somewhere around, with some savings we can come up with, somewhere around $507,000 just for the truck base. This is no meeting room, no bathrooms, no kitchen, so on and so forth. We have applied for a grant, which we apply for every year, and I think all the departments in the county do that, for the garage doors. We thought we would go ahead and get the garage doors and openers. Those items combined is a $35,000 cost. Don't think there's a bit of problem with getting the garage doors on the grant. We have someone that's offered to do the site work for free. So we are working the community, so to speak, but what Dale said, I'll touch on what Dale said, yeah, vendors and people, they're in business to make money. I mean, they have to live, they have to eat, they have to pay insurance and so on and so forth. Yes, you can help the fire departments a little bit, but you can't help them but so much, you know. You can't donate but so much and so on and so forth. That's sort of where we're at with the building. I'm sorry. We're expecting some preliminary drawings back in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks at the most, I would think. And these drawings will change, as each of you know has been involved in building. Once the firemen meet, look at them, there'll be changes. And then once we finalize that, maybe we can sit down and talk seriously to a builder and get a concrete price. This is just a rough early guesstimate price. I'm going to jump up to our trucks just a second at Piney Creek.
Larry, you're kind of running a little bit long on time, if you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, no problem. Our first out pumper truck's 29 years old. Our second out's 22 years old. Another truck's 10, another one 18, another one 28, so on and so forth. There was a study done, I'll bring that up, probably some of the board don't even know. The county done a emergency services capital needs study in 2008. I have a copy. If anybody ever needs that, we'll touch on that another time, but thank you for your time. I won't take up any more.
I'd like a copy of that, please.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.